Good. It's good to see you here on the Cat and Sam show. Today, we're going to do a little bit of a role play and see if we can't drive this home about cheese and potatoes.
So, Kat, how do you like if I was cooking, if you when you come over to the UK and you come to me, how would you like your potatoes? What's your favourite potatoes?
I like my potatoes a little crisp when they're fried up, and some salt and pepper. So that's basically it.
So fried up potatoes, salt and pepper. So what do you like them like sautéed in slices, or do you like them cubed or?
Cubed is fine.
Okay.
And slices is fine. I'm not too particular about that. Now, let's pretend that I'm an abusive person and I go to Sam's house and we say the same kind of thing. And I want to clarify something. Are you confused at all by what kind of potatoes I like?
No, you like them cubed, you like them crispy. I've got it in my head exactly, not just like fluffy on the inside, crispy on the outside, little bit of seasoning, sounds delicious. You're my friend. You're somebody I care about. You're coming and eating at my house. So I want you to have something that I know you're going to love, and I'll give it a crack. I might not get it perfect, but hopefully, it'll be delicious for you.
So,
Why would you do that? Marley,
welcome to my house.
Right?
Welcome to my house with the dog barking.
I'm a little bit famished.
No, go lay down.
So do you want those potatoes? I've cut you. I've got it. Look, I'm gonna do you your potatoes. So if you give me 10 minutes, and I'm going to fry them up just how you said you like them. Sit down, have a glass of wine, enjoy yourself. I'm so chuffed you're here. And off I disappear, and I fry up the cubed potatoes with a little bit of oil, salt and pepper, and here you are, Kat, and hopefully you enjoy them. And it means a lot to me that you have a nice meal, especially as you've travelled so far and everything else.
Yeah. It's so wonderful to be here and enjoy what you've made for me. And I kind of like sweet potatoes, not regular potatoes.
Oh, no.
I thought I was clear on that.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't. I didn't think. I sent you an email. I've got a sweet potato. Just give me. No. I really want to make you something nice. I'm going to do the sweet potatoes.
No, I'm all right. I just, I think if you looked at the email, you would see that I did put sweet potatoes, and I'm fine eating these, but I just wanted you to know it's really not my cup of tea. And no, I don't want you to go to any extra work for me.
Well, I don't remember I don't remember the potato being. I don't remember that in the email. I must have missed it somehow, or
I don't know how you missed it, because I don't know how you missed it, because we talked about the potato and I sent you an email about the potato, and I just don't understand how you could mess up about the potato, because the potato was a sweet potato.
Well,
that is how you mess with people.
There you go.
That is how you mess with people. It seems silly, but it's like you could see Sam over there going, okay, well, I can make you some potatoes. And I'm like, nope, don't want them made.
And also the fact about the email and the conversation, I was about to say, well, I know we had a conversation, but I don't remember and I remember you saying, I'm not so bothered I'm not so bothered about the potato, you know. But yes, and it's also that kind of physicality as well as your tone and your way of being, and importantly, it being something that you know is important to me because I've voiced that it matters to me that you're happy because you've come such a long way, and actually that's just, you know, I genuinely don't see that there's anything wrong in that. That's a cultural thing for me, and I think in many other cultures, you know, and that's how that's weaponized against you. And if you imagine that, if people imagine that day in, day out, interspersed with wonderful, lovely Kat who loves them, you know, who's just like, that's Sam, they're the best potatoes I've ever had. Well, doing that cycle and that push and pull, and it's like, well, you don't know what's coming. You don't know what's coming next. And then if I sort of like turn around and, you know, if I turn around and stand up to you and you say, you know, that's when they get the thing, don't you? You're being, what's the matter with you? I'm not bothered about the potatoes. That's really hurtful to me. Why are you accusing me of that? You know, it's like,
well, and I know you well enough to know from talking that you love to cook and you love to make things for people when they come over, and it's something that is important to you. Like if somebody's hungry, you're going to feed them.
Yes.
And if you have what they want, you're going to feed them that because it will make them happy.
Yeah.
And
why wouldn't you want people you care about to be happy? There is nothing wrong in that. That doesn't mean that we're mentally unstable. It doesn't mean that we're vulnerable. It doesn't mean that we're weak. It just means that we care about the people we care about and want them to have a little bit of happiness, if that means even some extra chopping and a bit of cubing of a potato. You know, it's not hard.
But it wasn't about the potato, because my drive, because my drive when I was doing that was to just constantly make you off guard and vulnerable.
Yeah.
I mean, because honestly, the way that myself. even when we were talking on the other video, we were talking about cheese and potatoes. So you would have automatically thought I was going to go to cheese. And cheese being wrong. And I went to sweet potatoes, and you were like,
yeah, never mentioned sweet potatoes before, you know.
And that's how it's done. And it's done just to throw you off and to make you question, like, did I miss something? And then you pull out the email and you realize you didn't miss anything there. And maybe you did, because people make honest mistakes. At the same time, it's never to drive.
Yeah, it's the intent behind it, isn't it?
It is the intent behind it.
It's the not the cheese. It was never the cheese.
It's never the cheese. It was the sweet potato.
It was the sweet potato. Oh, I hope people enjoyed that. I enjoyed doing that, actually. It was a brilliant idea, Kat. Well done.
Well, you know, and I think people think, oh, sweet potato, that makes no sense. and believe me, it makes no sense to us either, because we've lived it, but we also know that it's like, what?
Yeah, how can you weaponize a sweet potato? You know, right? That's how you do it.
How can you weaponize not being able to fall asleep?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll change all this. I'll get all these sheets. I'll do this. I'll turn my back. I'll make sure that I'm sleeping this way. I'll do all these things. It's never, it's, you know, and I think that's, you know, a key point. People that want to solve problems.
Yes.
People who don't will always find a problem with your resolution.
Absolutely.
Always.
And it was for me.
I think that's a big red flag.
Absolutely. It was for me. It was when I got to the thing where, you know, I'll go and sleep in the spare room. You know, and it wasn't said
Right.
angrily. It's like, right, you obviously desperately need sleep. I'll go and sleep in the spare room. And he didn't want that. It's, you know, kind of basically, if I went and did that, I'd never get back in the marital bed again. It's like, so what do you want? You know, what do you want? And that was the moment. That was the moment when I realised it wasn't about the sleep. Because if it was about the sleep, he'd have gone, oh, thank God for that. Thank you, please. Just, you know, I love you. Don't, you know, there wasn't going to be the thing of if we'd slept in separate beds, suddenly our relationship was going to be over. It was just, you know, both desperate. I was desperate to get into the spare room and have a good night's sleep myself. And that's why he didn't want me to go in there.
Right.
And again, try reporting that to the police.
It is always about moving that goalpost in
but like I said, that was the moment I realised that it was not about the sleep. So.
Yeah, and I think, you know, you just never know. It's a constant moving of, you know,
reality.
Yeah. I mean,
reality.
I can talk about going and getting something, and if I'm like 3 or 4 minutes from when someone thought I should have it done, then there's a call. Well, how come I didn't say it was going to take that long? How come I didn't call to say that it was not done and that I had to go somewhere else? And anger.
And who have you seen whilst you were out doing it? And what,
right.
And, you know,
and why can't... It's the constant of that. And, you know, why can't you just call? Yeah, I thought you're going to be home pretty quickly and you're not here yet. Is everything okay? Yeah, that's great. I just got stuck. They didn't have what I needed, so I had to go over here to blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay, well, we'll see in a few. That's a different conversation than the ones that are like, well, why are you doing it that way? Well, why didn't you call to let me know? It's called respect. I don't know why you can't just pick up the phone and do that.
No.
When that was never the thing.
Yeah. And it's like, it's one of the other things that I wanted to say in case anybody sort of tunes into this and sort of like thinks, oh my God, you know, the fact that we can laugh now is, I think, such a big step. And I don't know about for you, but for me, it's really healing because it's one of the things we were never allowed to do was laugh. Laughter died. Music died in the house. There was none. And to actually be able to be in, we were talking about compassion and hand holding, and we've talked about connectivity and the, you know, and the tribal quality of being able to have a laugh about it, the farcical, because it is farcical, some of it, a lot of it, the farcical elements of domestic abuse doesn't actually take away from the brutality of it.
Yeah, I mean...
But I think it is part of the healing and recovery journey is being able to bring... I'm a great believer in humour anyway. And the power of humour. But it always in a good and compassionate and positive way. I suppose that's all I wanted to say.
Right, and I agree with you. And I'm thinking about, you know, even though we hit on it and we were laughing at it, it's really not a laughing matter. Because when we were doing that and I was talking to you and I just brought up the sweet potato, your head went like confusion, like you weren't expecting that at all. And when it's done all the time and a consistency, it actually really hurts. It really just scrambles the head to the point where you're just like, oh, You want sweet potatoes? Okay, I'll go get sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
And I'll go fry them up, and
Yeah.
that's the end of the story. And
Yeah.
or you'll just satisfy, like if I said, okay, well, I don't want you to go make that, but why don't we go out to dinner to this one place that I know that makes great sweet potatoes, and then you just go with that, because any way to just get out of that whole realm of the argument that's not going to end
I used to
unless you
physically-
just give in.
My image, because I sort of deal imagery, it's the way my brain works, is like, somebody got a crochet hook, you like imagine your brain, all of that wormy sort of like, mush thing. It is like somebody getting a crochet hook and just kind of screwing around, sort of squishing it around and stuff like that, and pulling bits out and over. But the other thing that they do around the laughter is, of course, they weaponize laughter as well. Even if there is laughter in the home, it's not a nice laughter. You're being laughed at. You're being it's it's a really nasty thing that they do. They really do weaponize laughter. So to be able to reclaim a little bit of that, I don't think is a bad thing.
No, and I think, it's not a joke.
No.
When you're doing that kind of tactic, it's not a joke. So,
you see, I don't think when they first say about the cheese or whatever, and quite often our first reaction is to laugh, to lighten the mood if somebody's being a bit narky, and I don't think they like that. They think they're being laughed at. So that's there's it's just this constant. What's the fairground ride with the teacups?
Push pull is a good thing.
And the teacups go. It's like that the whole time, and I've heard people describe it like being in a washing machine, or But it's so easy to fall into the trap when you think that you're dealing with a normal functioning human being, adult person who generally follows every other societal rule, or
you just don't expect.
No,
I never. I mean, and it's such a good thing that you brought up the coercive control. I mean, that really is very simple in what those tactics are. They aren't about the potatoes. They aren't about sleep. They aren't about bed. They aren't about those things. They're about moving one person to let go of who they are and how they feel and how they want to take care of someone, to be at the beck and call of another based on what that other wants them to do.
Yeah, and it's planned and it's intentful and it's
very planned.
And you don't even know it's happening.
Right.
Because
exactly.
Why would you expect that? Why would you? It's exhausting for a start. Why would anybody want to live their life like that?
Well, and I think once you've gone through
do it, I'm talking about the perpetrator. Why would you want to live like that? Why would you want to? It doesn't make sense to me, but that's just me.
Well, yeah, and I don't even want to go into that. I mean, that would be a great question for somebody on our that's coming on.
Okay, cool.
We'll have on
leave
soon.
That till then. I enjoyed that.
Me too. Let's wrap this one up, and just so we're clear, when I do come to visit, I like my potatoes a regular potato. And sometimes I like a little shredded cheese on them, but not always.
Well, do you know what? You can have the cheese on the side, and you can put whatever cheese you do or don't want on it yourself.
See you in about 14 hours.
Bye-bye, honey.
Bye, sweetie.
Now, if you like our content, please comment, like, subscribe, share, and if you want to see some more, you have to hit that bell down there below. So you can check us out on Patreon or on your favourite podcast service.